Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Oh, shoot. I forgot to write something on. I probably shouldn't hit record yet. Listen. I'm getting there. There's a reason we're late, and it was just because I was asleep. I'm just going to be very honest about that. I mean, yeah, it's actually less horrifying on the 3DS version. In the N64 version, it was very, very Diablo 1, if you know what I mean by that. Very impressionist nightmare, for lack of a better way to put it. No, I'm good. I did get a good night's sleep. Thank you for mentioning that. So this is a good time as any. I suppose this is also for the VOD watchers, although I imagine most of you aren't watching this, and I don't blame you, as I usually don't. 18. 1 second, I need to look something up here. Oh, absolutely, Ginkgo, 100%. Speaking of which, I am sorry you're dealing with that, Bragman. As I often am. Okay, so let's go back here. So for those of you watching the VOD, first of all, hi. You continue to be awesome. You know, I have no idea, Blade to Fall, but I'm sorry, I should probably get on with it, because I'm about to say something. We have a bit of a deadline now. Come the beginning of July, my sister and I, so I'm not sure of the exact specifics yet, but the intention is my brother-in-law is going to be taking all the kids, and they're all going to be leaving the house for about a week. And then my sister and I are going to spend about a week getting the house ready to be sold. And everything that implies and means. For pretty obvious reasons, that means I will probably not be streaming, or at least not be doing regular streaming during that particular point in time. Now, obviously, we could get Ocarina and Majora done in that period of time, no problem. I would ideally like to get Wind Waker done as well. But either way, we now have a deadline. This also means with 100% certainty that we are not streaming Tears before the move. That's not happening at this point. Yeah, I wish I came up with that pillar just now, but alas, I only repeat it. Okay, so there's that one. Yeah, it's 8 days remain. 90. I don't know how many days it is. X days remaining. Yeah, I'd rather have a deadline than not. Well, plus, we also have a lot of stuff to go through. We're getting rid of... I shouldn't say that. My intention is to get rid of about half of what they own. And I say it that way very specifically, because I don't actually have a lot of extra stuff in my life. And what extra stuff I had in my life, I got rid of a couple of months ago. Like, I'm packed. I'm ready to go. I forget if this even works. Nah, it doesn't matter. But they need to do a polishing pass of ownership because they have a whole lot of just extra stuff, right? That's pretty normal. There was supposed to be a yard sale, and then there was supposed to be a second yard sale, and neither of those have happened. Like, there's almost no walking room in the garage right now, to give a little bit of perspective on that. No, I'm keeping my games. But then again, what you see behind me is quite literally half of what I own. Unless you count the bed. The bed is kind of the big thing for me. Big space taker, but of course it is. It's the bed. 10 days. 10 days until the deadline, Game Geek. So we're not necessarily in a hurry, but I am going to be doing the next few runs with that in mind. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're going to try to sell as much as we can. We're going to try to give away as much as we can. Everything else is getting tossed. Oh yeah, there's tons of little stuff in this game memory. I mean, the Deku Theater I showed off earlier. So I could do that. Let's do that really quick before we move forwards. Just a little side thing while we're here. I kind of want to do this for something we're doing in a minute anyways. Hey, oh my god, the sky is getting dark and gray. But I wouldn't worry about that. That can't possibly be anything. We're fine. We're fine. It's just a storm. It'll pass. Heads down. It's just an air raid. So, from what I understand, Best in Slot Mark, the original intent was for every boss to have their own boss song. And then the development cycle of Ocarina happened. And then that did not happen. Now, that being stated, I'm curious why they choose those two to get the song. Not that I mind, but it is an interesting pick. Although both are pretty memorable and interesting bosses, too, so that might have just been the mentality right there. Alright, I've got to actually do this. Well, we know Volvagia was actually designed pretty early on. So, that might be relevant there. Volvagia and the R-Wing that birthed it was kind of designed as part of a test for the Z targeting system to begin with, and aspects of the camera system. So that, yeah, like I said, that was probably pretty early on. I could be wrong though. Don't quote me on that. One moment. Well, yeah, Bionic Punk. And this is how we hide in it. Yep, okay, we're safe. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Darkrai. I mean, they already made Goma a boss. Or vice versa. Then they start to branch out a little bit more. Go faster. Okay, in Majora's we have multiple ways of going faster that don't involve rolling. It's almost like they thought about that in Majora's. That's also true in Twilight, interestingly enough. Yeah, probably Bionic Punk. So he's been mentioned many times by now. We've given his name many times, but we've never actually met the guy. It's Ganon, my horse. Lost her. You, over there, little kid. You must have seen the white horse gallop away just now. Which way did it go? Answer me. You think you can protect them from me? You got guts, kid. You want a piece of me? Very funny. I like your attitude. And yeah, the King of Hyrule was probably just murdered. Like, pathetic little fool. Do you realize who you're dealing with? I am Ganondorf, and soon I will rule the world. And don't worry, I'm going to show off the thing. I showed it off last time. Every time I show off the thing, there's at least one person who's never seen it before. What's funny is it's the same voice actor both times, remember? Although I didn't know that till pretty recently. Yeah, actually it is. Can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. Hi. When you hold this ocarina in your hand, I won't be around anymore. I wanted to wait for you, but I couldn't delay any longer. Because, you know, he just killed my dad. At least I could leave you the ocarina and this melody. A small but interesting thing they do with a lot of the repeating songs. They're all just 3 notes, but that's a good thing. I mean that. Like, some of the songs, it makes sense to, like, have them be a little bit more complex than that, but for the songs that the developers knew that you'd be using constantly, they're all 3 notes. Easy to memorize. This is especially true in the original where you didn't have the cross-reference sheet, which we have in the 3DS version. So, play this in front of the Temple of Time. How did I get out here? Navi's like, dude, wake up, wake up. Oh, wow, what, Navi, what? Pretty much best in slot mark. What probably happened in lore is he probably rode off for a bit, paused, and was like, hold up. And that's when the thought occurred to him to, like, follow, right? So this is in the original. And a lot of people miss this because there's only one point in the entire game you can actually see it, and it's right here. You the boy from the forest? Finally met you. I have something to tell you. Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, betrayed our king. Zelda's attendant Impa sensed danger and escaped from the castle with our princess. I tried to stop Ganondorf's men from chasing them, but the princess is waiting for a boy from the forest. That's you. She wanted to give something to the boy. If you received it from the princess, hurry to the Temple of Time. And then he dies. A lot of people missed this back in the day, including me, by the way. The first time I ever actually saw this game, or sorry, the first time I ever saw this little side sequence, I was just like, what? And there's a lot of background darkness to this game. This is a good example of this. This isn't like shoved into your face. This isn't like Dark Souls or whatever. It's just, yeah, no. This guard just died. And the off chance that you were holding on to some vain hope that Ganondorf is a Bowser-like villain or a Dr. Wily-like villain, where he's like, mwahaha, but he's not actually evil. No, Ganondorf is a murderer. This also helps to inform a lot of the other stuff that's going on at this point. Yeah, then the Shadow Temple hits, but we'll get there too. So, I said I'd point it out again. Just take this shot in for a moment. Really take it in. Let's actually look at all the composition here. This is because this is the static shot, right? That's not a picture, of course. So we've got the temple itself. Decent looking. Basic architecture. Very dramatic. Nice, clear water. Nice green path leading up to it. We can see Death Mountain in the distance. Nice composition shot. Bunch of trees surrounding it. Big old fence. There's the actual castle walls going around the back of it. We've got a bit of foliage in the front ground. Just some bushes and some flowers and some bricks. Nice composition, right? And it all gets across the idea of peaceful, beatific. You get it. I just want you to freeze that in your mind for maybe like 5 minutes. So we have all three things. And I've already forgotten how to play it. No, I have not tried Hexia. Although, I have noticed that in the comics, Robotnik is evil. And that's usually used in contrast to other villains, like Dr. Wily. Or we could use the Door of Time skip. I legitimately don't remember if you can even use the Door of Time skip in the 3DS version. It's exploiting a bit of geometry bugging in the terrain. Or isn't that? Isn't it what? So, a little bit of interesting trivia here. This is only the second time the Master Sword has even existed in the franchise. Historically, like real life purpose-wise. Because there was just the sword in both 1 and 2, and Link's Awakening had its own thing. So, the only game that had a Master Sword prior to this was Link to the Past. Oh yeah, all the time, Travis, yeah. Excellent work. As I thought, you held the keys to the doors of time. You led me to the gates of the sacred realm. Yes, I owe it all to you, kid. So, we all like to do our funny names for characters because of the amusing text they'll show up, right? I saw a funny one just last night. Renaming Link to Dirtbag. Wake up, Dirtbag, the chosen one. Some people have tried to retcon the thing from Breath of the Wild into this game, but let's be clear, no. Nor the fact that Breath of the Wild has nothing to do with any of this. And came out like 20 years later. I am Rauru, one of the ancient sages. Ages ago, we ancient sages built the Temple of Time to protect the entrance to the sacred realm. This is the Chamber of Sages inside the Temple of Light. Temple of Light, situated in the very center of the sacred realm, is the last stronghold against Ganondorf's evil forces. So, they don't get this across the way they probably should, but the idea here is, you remember that pyramid in the middle of the Dark World in LTTP? That's what we're in right now. We're in this building, which is at the very middle of the sacred realm, which is currently under siege. I think if they ever were to do a proper remake of this, that would be the thing that I would probably flesh out the most, is a lot of what's happening in the Sacred Realm while we're running around dealing with the next part of the game. The Master Sword, the evil-destroying sword you pulled out of the Pedestal of Time, was the final key to the Sacred Realm. Don't be alarmed. Look at yourself. So, originally, as is pretty much the standard for the series, Link was always a child for some stupid reason. Correct, Ect. And now Navi is super enamored with us, of course. Calm down, Navi. Stop thirsting. But yeah, originally Link was going to stay child, and that was actually where a lot of the game was constructed. They came up with this idea of us aging during the time gap, specifically so they could show off a more adult version of Link, who was, by all accounts, modeled after Leonardo DiCaprio, apparently, at the time. This is 90s Leonardo DiCaprio. Also, I'm barely joking, that's exactly why. The original impetus for this was because they wanted Link to look hot. I am not making that up. They wanted to have someone physically attractive looking in order to look at while they're going through it. It was actually specifically one of the developers' wives that kind of got this particular ball rolling. Now, I bring that up. I don't see it either. But I bring all this up because, well, that makes less sense the more you think about it. It's one of those things, right? It's an example of underthought. And considering the fact that this wasn't part of the original storyline and was kind of grafted in, that makes a lot more sense. Because if you pay attention, the fact that we are older is barely relevant throughout the course of the story. In fact, it has no real impact on anything other than the fact that we are slightly taller, which does change how we interact with some of the puzzles, by the way, and I'll show off a couple of those as we go. But that's it. There's like a couple of moments that this comes out, and that's kind of it. So you can actually see why this was grafted in at the last second, and it absolutely is the kind of thing that makes you go, hold on. I have questions. The Master Sword is a sacred blade that evil ones may never touch. Only one worthy of the title, Hero of Time, can pull it from the pedestal of time. However, you were too young to be the Hero of Time. Therefore, your spirit was sealed here for 7 years. Now that you're old enough, the time has come for you to awaken as the Hero of Time. Actually, we have showcases of that, Blade Javal. It's not that hard to pull off. If you think about it, we've been doing that this whole time. Think about how many of the 2D games, I know that's different. Think about how many 2D games we have this giant swinging sword that goes out like longer than we are, right? It's not as hard to pull off as you'd think. So yes, I understand my destiny. Remember, you opened the door in time in the name of peace, but Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, used it to enter this forbidden sacred realm. He obtained the Triforce from the Temple of Light, and with its power he became the King of Evil. His evil power radiated from the temples of Hyrule, and in 7 short years it transformed Hyrule into a world of monsters. My power now has only little influence, even in this sacred realm. Yeah, I was gonna say, big Goron Sword, come on. Two-hander. Namely, this Chamber of Sages. Oh yeah, that's actually another thing. We have animations for wielding a two-handed weapon. The power of the sages still remain. When the power of all sages is awakened, the sages' seals will contain the evil power in the void of the realm. I am Rauru, am one of the sages. And your power makes you the Hero of Time, chosen by the Master Sword. Cool. Keep my spirit with you. Find the power of the other sages and add their might to your own. That was easy. I mean, I don't argue that, but honestly, we should have just made Link older to begin with. I mean, we've talked many times about Japan's just absolute insistence on everything but being too young. Like, the idea that Link was canonically 10 in Zelda 1 is nonsense and contradictory. 7 years really passed? Looks like you won't be able to use some of the weapons you found as a kid anymore. Why? We're 17! So, fun fact, they actually went out of the way to give Sheik here more feminine features in this version of the game. Because people are weird, and I'm going to put it that way. I've been waiting for you, Hero of Time. When evil rules all, an awakening voice from the sacred realm will call those destined to be sages who dwell in the 5 temples. One in a deep forest, one in a high mountain, one under a vast lake, one within the house of the dead, one inside a goddess of the sand. Together with the Hero of Time and the awakened ones will bind evil, return the light of peace to the world. This is the legend of the temples passed down by my people, the Sheikah. I am Sheik, survivor of the Sheikah. As I see you standing there holding the mythical Master Sword, you really do look like the legendary Hero of Time. Yeah, he's turbo hot, I get it. If you believe the legend, you have no choice. You must look for the 5 temples and awaken the 5 sages. One sage is waiting for the time of awakening in the forest temple. The sage is a girl, I'm sure you know. Because of the evil power in the temple, she cannot hear the awakening call from the sacred realm. Unfortunately, equipped as you currently are, you cannot even enter the temple. If you believe what I'm saying, you should head to Kakariko Village. Do you understand? Sure. So, I've talked about this before, but this was a moment for me. When I first played this for the very first time and got to this moment, I stopped dead. Yeah. In fact, I'll talk about this in a moment. What's really a shame is there isn't more of this. But look at the contrast. The foliage, the flowers and the bushes in the front, gone. The trees are still there, but they are all barren. And Death Mountain looks wrong in the distance. Fence is still there. The wall's still there. Yeah, this looks messed. And then we see this. First thing that happens is the combat music pop up. Now, everyone in the entire world presumed that these used to be the villagers from the town, now turned into re-deads. It actually took one of the developers, I think it was Miyamoto himself, coming out and officially stating in an interview, no, these are not the villagers, for people to be corrected on that point, because pretty much everything about the game indicates these are the villagers. Thing is, we're not reviewing ancillary works here, are we? So despite their fervent attempts to ruin this otherwise excellent moment, no, these are the freaking villagers. Obviously, it's not all of them. Some of the people do escape to Kakariko. But there's not that many people in Kakariko in the present, in the future. So either they really didn't think about it, or they're trying to cover up like, no, it's not that dark, it's not that dark. And either way, who gives a crap? So again, officially, a bunch of re-deads moved into town, which, sure, whatever, that's dumb. But as I've said many times, we're dealing with the game and what's on the screen. What's not in the manual, what's not in interviews. And this is a hell of a moment. Yeah, absolutely, Act. This is great. This is absolutely great. I love this whole sequence. Yeah, that shopkeep, where's my freaking mask? That's a good question, Blatchable. We'll have to think about that. Because we haven't really used the songs all that much yet. So we'll see. We're going to use it a lot more now that we're actually in the Dark World. As with LTTP, the format remains the same. We do the Light World first, 3 dungeons. Those dungeons, all 3 of them function as a tutorial. Then we get to the Dark World and stuff gets more real. Dungeons get more dense, more difficult, and more deadly. Also longer. And there's a whole bunch of fun stuff in the present, in the future, whatever you want to call that, that's going to be a lot meaner. So we're going to run by, don't mind me. These are actually specifically specially coded redeads that can't actually freeze you, by the way, if you're wondering. This is actually, if I could talk for just a second. Obviously this is nice in the N64. Exactly. Played it all. This is in the N64. This is an updated JPEG, but in this version, this is all 3D rendered. Like these are all models and meshes. And I just want to give a little bit of praise for that extra little bit of effort to bother to make a new version of Castle down here just for this sequence. I appreciate that because this is a big moment. It deserves that little extra bit of work and polish. Credit where credit is due. Grezzo does good work. Sure, I'll look. I was going to save Hyrule Castle for later, but sure. Yeah, we'll just pause here. You can kind of see Hyrule Castle in the distance there, or what used to be Hyrule Castle. And you can tell even from here, holy crap. And the first time you enter this zone, which usually I don't do until I'm beating the game, this is what's left of Hyrule Castle. Notice, and this is deliberate, the deliberate use of that magenta red, which became the color coding in the Zelda franchise for Malice. Not Demise, to be very clear. Malice. There's a distinction. So yeah, that's now Hyrule Castle. Nice place. Is that... Hold on. That is. There's just some dude's helmet here. I don't even remember if that's in the original. Now, let me go ahead and admit something to you. I love this whole sequence. I've already given it multiple positives. But what I am most dismayed about the future is that the world is not devastated. I know that sounds odd, but unlike the Dark World, which is a non-stop cavalcade of a showcasing, like multiple brickwork positives, multiple visual storytelling positives, and multiple atmosphere positives that the Dark World got for how dead the whole Dark World is, we've basically seen all the dead stuff in the Dark World of this game. From now on, it's just a Hyrule Field again. I mean, there's a Poe. Like, and yeah, the moment you leave out into Hyrule Field, all of that's just, alright, back to business as usual. So, while it absolutely deserves those couple of positives for that moment and that shift and all that crap, the moment we leave, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I guess. Hang on, since I've got bottles to spare right now. Like, Kakariko's barely different. Death Mountain's barely different. The forest is barely different. Like, there's a couple of differences. I'm not trying to undersell it. But all of those differences are primarily, like, enemy composition and level design. Not actually, the world is devastated. Like, it's supposed to be this big, horrible, dark future, and instead it's not. Oh, you're quite a... So this is the guard from earlier. You're quite a brave and energetic man. You're brave and handsome, too. Your name is Laura, isn't it? Don't be surprised. I can read people's minds. If I looked as good as you, I could run a different kind of business. Born joke. My shop is the only ghost shop in Hyrule. Because of the great Ganondorf, it's a fine time for business like this. Oh, I can only hope the world gets even worse. The ghosts, called Poes, are spirits of concentrated hatred that appear in the fields and graveyards. They hate the world. Young man, if you catch a Poe, I'll pay a lot of money for it. Well, it's funny you say that. This is a normal Poe. Here's your 10 rupees. Thanks. Yeah, the Zora domain is changed and stays changed and isn't. Now, hang on. I'm gonna disagree with myself for a second here. Because remember that, well, no, maybe I'm going to disagree with maybe disagreement of myself, I think, actually. All kinds of disagreement here. See, here's the thing. One of the things I dislike is when everything is so dark and so terrible that there's no possible recovery, right? Not just in general, I mean, like, it... God, what game did we cover recently was like that? It was like, everything's awful forever, and then, oh, we're fine, you know. I mean, yeah, Dial before, but that's not the trope I'm referring to. It's when they really, 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 really want there to be this big, dark, gritty, edgy thing, and then, we're fine. Everything's fine. Huh? You ruined the world. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Now, sometimes they can make that work. Like, to the Past made that work. But if they made the present world, the world of the future, so terrible, then, well, how could they possibly have a happy ending? Remember, the ending we watch in this game, this is a bit of a spoiler, is from the future. So them having this big happy ending would be a bit diminished if the world was smashed, right? Here's the disagreement of the disagreement. Yeah, exactly, Ars Bruce. The disagreement of the disagreement is, canonically, the timeline we're in right now, the future, right? This world, this leads to Wind Waker. And what is Wind Waker? On the off chance you don't know, Wind Waker is a post-apocalypse. And that's not me being facetious or trying to be like, hey, here's like, this thing is... No, it is. It is a post-apocalypse. It is a survivalist society that is still recovering from an apocalypse that hit. That's the flood. So, see, I would argue against that, Darkrai. I think they don't hit post-post until they hit Spirit Tracks. And by Spirit Tracks, they've looped so far around that they're fine again, but you get my point. If you argued it's post-post, I'm not going to argue back. But my point I'm trying to reach here is... the point I'm trying to reach is, if this was even more devastated, and this leads directly into Wind Waker, it's less of an issue. You see what I mean? By contrast, if this was super devastated, and then led into Twilight Princess, that would bother me, because Twilight Princess is not pre-post or post-post or whatever an apocalypse. Twilight Princess is a big, lush, prosperous realm. So that would be irritating. But instead it leads into Wind Waker. I agree with you, by the way, Cycloud. It could also kind of lead thematically into Wind Waker. I've already told you the theme of Wind Waker. Letting go of the past. If the land was so devastated, maybe it quite literally does need to be just etch-a-sketched. You need to walk away from it and move on, because everything is just destroyed. Look at this guy. Ever since he escaped from Castletown, he's become even more timid. I tell you, I saw him. I saw the ghostly figure of Dampé, the gravekeeper, sinking into his grave. Looked like he was holding treasure. Exact. So it is with 100% certainty that the reason the world is not more ruined is because of the limitations of the N64. In fact, given what they do with Majora's and the scheduling and some other aspects of it, most of which was information that was originally being designed for this game when it was going to be on better hardware, I would say with 99% certainty that this world was supposed to be more devastated originally in the Dark World in the future. It isn't, of course, but that probably was the intent. This would especially make sense because, and I just said this leads directly into Wind Waker. Let's do it in this order. I bred a new type of miniature Kuko. I call it the Pocket Kuko. I don't get goosebumps from this baby. Kukos are very good at getting lazy late rises out of bed. Haven't you heard of them before? Makes me very happy to go cuckoo, especially when it wakes up a very heavy sleeper. Oh, so they're assholes. However, my Kuko is not entirely happy right now. You look like you're good at handling Kukos. Here, take this egg. After it hatches, bring it back to me. I'll check out its mood. And that is the beginning of the trading quest. The concept started in Link's Awakening, but it became a staple here. This would be a normal thing in a lot of games. You could argue that, Javos. Which makes me wonder why exactly his capital looks like a dead realm. Filled with redeads. So, you remember that bean we planted back in the past? No. Leave Demise out of this. He doesn't exist. So I'm trying to remember how you're supposed to do this. It's the speedrunner's curse, right? What am I supposed to do? There we go. Read the diary. Whoever reads this, please enter my grave. I'll let you have my stretching, shrinking keepsake. Okay. So Dampé's dead. Part of the problem is we don't have a lot of characterization for Ganondorf here. And in general, honestly. We get more of it in the 2 sequels to this game. That is probably exactly what they were going for, Darkrai. Not like Ganondorf was ever a good person. I do like how you can see the pose from a distance, by the way. Just, that's a touch. He could also be incompetent. Although, if I'm being honest, that is something that irritates me about Scar over at Lion King. And that's part of why I was arguing against myself there. Like, maybe the land shouldn't be super devastated. Ultimately, I know this sounds very bizarre, but I'm a little bit disappointed that the land isn't more devastated. Because I kind of wanted a smashed future, you know? I wanted a dark world. After all, I've played LTTP before, right? And I hate to reiterate this point, but every single part of the Dark World in LTTP does a great job of selling what it is. Think about Misery Mire for a second. Or Skull Woods, for God's sakes. You know, think about the dead and rotting grass, or the people turned into trees. That is true, Blade Troll, and that's kind of why I'm arguing with myself on this point. Wrong one. And that's true, the Dark Realm is literally a morphic realm. Warped and twisted, it's a realm that's cursed, whereas this is just a place. So, what that means, ultimately, is he smashed the hell out of Hyrule. Hyrule Castletown, I should say. Yeah, no kidding, memory. That's another dark world that I really loved, actually, now that we're talking about it. Oh, hey. So, hang on. Now, you really got me thinking about this now. If we were to do a rewrite or a remake of this, why did Ganondorf absolutely devastate Castletown but leave everyone else basically alone? And when I say basically alone, I mean he killed off all the Zora, or tried to, and tried to kill off all the Gorons, too. So it's not like he's not screwing with the other people, right? I mean, I'm spoiling a little bit, but for those of you aware of this game, you know what I mean. He is not exactly being kind to the other denizens of the realm, or the adjacent realms. That's true, Cycloud. Although, I mean, if we're being honest, that's the gun and the person who ordered the shot argument. The Kokiri are fine. Kinda. So here's my thinking. I don't want to lean into the Girahim arc, so let's not go too far down that character tree. But hear me off. Hear me out. What if Ganondorf was like, all right, I've killed your king. None of you can stop me. I've killed several of your soldiers by myself. Submit. And the people are like, no! And he's like, no, submit. And it basically, people keep not surrendering. And it starts to bother him a little bit. It's so useless! Every one of them will be going... It's Khan, right? From Star Trek. He's pissed off because he legitimately doesn't understand why people keep resisting. And so he keeps getting harsher. And harsher. And harsher. And people start to just flee the town. He's like, what are you doing? I am your king! And so finally that leads to him just kind of smashing the town. Like you know, Ganondorf. One of Ganondorf's signature moves, this is not a joke, is a really big, powerful attack that takes a long time to charge. No finesse, no nothing. That even translates into smash, for God's sakes. A lot of his heaviest hitting attacks are absolutely huge wind-ups that any functioning player can stop. But if you don't, it's going to break your face off, right? So he just charges a big-ass attack, smashes right in the middle of town, says, screw it. And then, you know, I am in charge. And that's why the place is screwed. And at that point, that's like the shock moment where he's like, okay, hold on. Because he doesn't actually want a ruined kingdom, right? He's got a lot of malice and a lot of hatred, but he's not that stupid. So he's not like a literal demon. So he's like, okay, hold on. Fine. Anywhere that does not submit will suffer. And that leads to what he does to the Zora and the Gorons. Because they refuse to submit. We are loyal to Hyrule. I am Hyrule. You are no brother of mine. Very well, Darunia. I will leave you free while I feed the rest of your people to the dragon. Right? You get it. That's I think the direction I would try to take that. I would have to do a couple of polishing passes. Hey Ross, do me a favor, watch like the last 10 minutes of the video. But I think that could work. And then he spends most of this game essentially just kind of hanging out in his castle, brooding, because people should be submitting. It's okay. They're not gonna die. Nobody's gonna choose death before his rule. That's stupid. Young man, are you fast on your feet? I may not look it, but this race sucks on the N64 version, by the way. The controls here are just the worst. Lots of blind corners. And you are on a timer. It's actually a more generous timer than it looks. But it is more than possible to screw this up. Honestly, if you don't roll, you'll be fine. It's pretty easy. So I'm just gonna follow my own advice here. Get hit by the fire. Okay, now I'm gonna roll a little bit because I got hit by the fire. I gotta catch up. You can also just memorize the route. I used to know this route pretty well because I used to actually do races on this because of course I did. Yeah, knew those two were coming. Long. Yeah, I could do much less than 101, but anyways. As a reward, I'm going to give you my treasure. It's called a hook shot. It's super cool. No, exactly, Blade 12. That's exactly what I was leading towards. He's just trying to get everyone to submit. He hasn't thought at all about what's going to happen after he wins. And remember, if my proposed rewrite is correct, then he hasn't won yet. So he's still in that now what? He's still trying to get to that phase. Sorry, I said that wrong. He has yet to reach the now what phase. It's like, ah. Well, imagine Scar, but like slightly better written. Scar probably shouldn't have control over the weather, among other things. So last time I didn't let you enjoy this song. Grrr. I'll never forget what happened on that day 7 years ago. It's all that Ocarina kid's fault. Next time he comes around here, I'm gonna mess him up. Really? You've got an ocarina. What the heck? Reminds me of that time 7 years ago. Back then a mean kid came and played a strange song that messed up this windmill. Yeah, time loop, get. This is actually... I'm sorry to sound dismissive. This is a really, really, really basic paradox. We get information from the future that we send to the past, which allows the information to exist in the future that we then get. In other words, the information comes from nowhere. Storm again. You played the ocarina again, didn't you? Rawr. We'll come back to that later, though. Do I have... I do. While we're here, let's go outside. The shooting gallery mural is new, I'm almost positive. A lot of the decals are new. Stupid thing here. Only his acting, Cashel. I love these in-between states. It's daytime right now, but because the music hasn't started, it's acting like it's nighttime even though it's daytime. All people have hardships in their past that they'd rather no one found out about. Look at the bearded man over there. I bet even someone like him has his share of troubles. Look at him, the man with the beard. I think he was fired from his job at the ranch. He's always just lazing around, morning, noon, and night. He's an awfully carefree guy during such hard times. Alan, doing alright. Sorry to make you worry. Yeah, so, wake up! Can a person get a little shut-eye around here? Ingo took over Lon Lon Ranch. They call it Ingo Ranch nowadays. I was kicked out of there, and look at me now. My girl Malin still works at the ranch. I'm worried about her. Then go rescue her, you worthless sack of crap. We'll talk about Ingo in a second. Yeah, I'm almost positive, like, most of these decal mural things are new. Oh, yeah, there you go. And Kuko looks pretty happy. He must have awakened an extremely lazy guy. You're a good Kuko keeper. I'll give you a rare, valuable Kuko if you're interested. His name is Kojiro. But he used to be my brother's Kuko. Its blue body is quite charming. It's so cute. Since my brother has gone, it's strange, but Kojiro has stopped crowing. You want to keep Kojiro? Cool. Moo. A long time ago, there's a man in this very village who had an eye they said could see the truth. Now you usually have to train your mind's eye most strenuously to actually see the truth. We need to sow eyes inside our minds. Sorry. I mean, I can stop if you want, Robostall. So let's talk about Ingo really quickly. So Ingo's evil, right? Why is Ingo evil? Keep in mind, Ingo does have part of the good ending of this game. Now, let me go ahead and just get this out of the way. There's no official answer, but one of the things this game does have is an official manga. Now, mangas are not canon, but in this case, it is a manga that was written with consent and coordination with several of the writing staff. So, it's not something I can just completely eject out of mind. And I bring that up because there's several things that the manga spells out that the game never actually touches on. For example, in the manga, Ingo is actually mind-controlled during this whole sequence. Now, my first thought about that was, wow, that's stupid. And then I thought about it for a second, and it kind of makes a degree of sense. If Ganondorf was having so much trouble getting anyone to follow him, he might have actually resorted to such a thing. That being said, that would make more sense if he resorted to that for everybody. But instead, apparently, he only does it to one Luigi clone, and that's it. Now, my own personal take on that is that that's a whole load of horse pocky. Instead, no, he's just a dick. He always hated being underappreciated. He always hated, this whole situation, so screw it. I'm gonna take over. A visitor. It's been a long time since we've had a visitor here. Where did you come from? Since Ganondorf came, people in the castle town have gone. Places have been ruined. Really? Places have been ruined? I hate to disagree with you, but no, that should probably be singular. And monsters are wandering everywhere. I hate to disagree with that too, but Hyrule Field is actually safer as an adult. Mr. Ingo is just using the ranch to gain Ganondorf's favor. Everyone seems to be turning evil. What's this everyone? Everyone else is fine. Like, the entire world has universally united against Ganondorf, except for Ingo. But Dad, he was kicked out of the ranch by Mr. Ingo. If I disobey Mr. Ingo, he'll treat the horses so badly. So there's nothing I can do. If only I could play their favorite song for them. Yeah, they're messed up, Javis. They're not turning evil. That's what she said. Everyone's turning evil. Yeah, again, considering that it's near certainty that this was supposed to be a dark world, there might be some dialogue that's just left over from that earlier version. Oh, I can't stand reading manga. The comic books are for children, obviously, and I am not a child. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back to playing my Zelda game from 1998. I like the new icon there for the fence. I forgot to do that. Oh well, we'll do this first. I genuinely don't enjoy manga, though. Mostly the art style. And I know that's a pathetic thing to complain about, but most manga I've looked at is so difficult to ascertain what I'm looking at that all I can do is read the text. And at that point, I'm just reading a book. There are some people in Kakariko... Oh, sorry, Luigi voice. There are some people in Kakariko spreading rumors I cheated Talon out of the ranch, but... Don't be ridiculous. That guy Talon was weak. I, Ingo, poured so much energy into this place. I don't want any strangers like you saying bad things about me. The great Ganondorf recognized my obvious talents and gave the ranch to me. I will raise a fine horse and win recognition from the great Ganondorf. Say, young man, you want to ride one of my fine horses? Sure, have some money. Nah, that horse sucks. When your time is up, I'll kick you out of here. Hehehehe. I think so, Casual. Yeah. Do I know you? I feel like I've just been here somewhere before. Oh, well. I do prefer carrots over spurs, even though, you know, obvious. So let's get some of our money back, because we're going to need it for the upcoming thing. I usually screw this up so hard on the N64 version. I don't really have a good reason why. I guess I just suck. Oh yeah, Epona runs away from you, by the way, until you play the song. That's how she identifies you. You're getting better. How about a little race with me? One lap around the coral with that horse. Let's make a little wager, say 50 rupees? So if I screw this up, I have to go rupee farming. Wish me luck. By the way, he straight up cheats for this race, like just straight up cheats. Also kind of indicative of how he treats his horses, while we're on the subject. Shoot! The great Ganondorf found out about the simulation. Hey, you! How about a... right, wrong voice. Luigi! I'm a Luigi. Hey, you! How about another race? If you win, you can keep the horse! Okay. And once again, I have to win this, or I have to go for rupee farming. This one's harder. That's why we get in front first. Then we just chill for a second. You can kind of corner check him a little bit, as I just did there. Oh, no, you don't. You keep all those nitro in the tank. What's up with that horse? Is that Epona? How did you tame that wild horse right under my nose? I was going to present that horse to the great Ganondorf, but I bet it on the race and lost. Shoot! As promised, I'd give the horse to you. However, I'll never let you leave this ranch. So, story time. Obviously, you're supposed to go over that fence. I say obviously because I didn't know that until I played the 3DS version of this game. Like 15 years after this game came out. I'm not even sure if you can do the route I used to do in the 3DS version, but on the N64 version, and you have to do it really particularly because it's probably a bug that this is even possible. You have to hit it right on, and you have to hit it full speed. Oh, yeah, see. I think they might have actually patched that bug, because you can just go over that fence in the N64 version. And when you do, it always confused the hell out of me, because then this cutscene would play. Like, I guess my overall thinking was, why would you jump off a cliff on a horse? You're gonna kill the horse! I think so, Ginkgo. It's been a minute for me, too. No, I'm gonna. We're even gonna do it properly, which is this. This is an absolute maximum potential speed, but it's pretty close. Alright, so hang on. So it was, what, like a minute and a half last time? Minute 30 something? Let's see how this takes us. Use the same route as last time. A little faster. Whoops. "38 seconds. Yeah, it's a bit faster. Not quite triple the speed, but getting there. That speaks for itself, honestly. I do like that you can get Epona the moment you hit the future. Speaking of which, to continue the parallels to LTTP, did you notice that we get the unlock item very, very, very early? Just like we did in LTTP. In LTTP, it was the hammer and subsequently the gauntlets, but mostly the hammer. The hammer is the big unlock point. Here, it's the hookshot. Once we have the hookshot, we have access to, honestly, most of the world. And in fact, you can do several of these temples completely out of, the quote-unquote intended order. Everything in the game is pushing into the forest temple first. And obviously we are going to need the bow, but we can kind of do a lot of these in a lot of orders. We can even double dip if we really wanted to. Oh, God, I've heard so many urban legends about this game. My favorite was that if you managed to get the stall child to grow super tall, eventually you could climb on it. And then use that to reach something. I don't even remember what exactly. So we're going to do something else, though, because speaking of the world being opened up... Right, this isn't Twilight Princess. One of the biggest convenience features of Twilight Princess, in my opinion, is the fact that you can leap off of... Yeah, even she tells you over here. That you can just leap off the horse very, very quickly, which means you can dismount and remount very quickly, which turns Epona from something that's good into something that's great. So now there's enemies here. Why's that fairy following you around? You're not one of us. You didn't have any problems entering the forest, mister. Did the meanies out there bother you much? Before the great Deku Tree died, you didn't see things like that around here. Since it's dangerous outside, I always stay inside my house, but I'm bored to death in here. Yeah, I'm not saying the Kokiri don't have it bad, but, like, comparatively speaking... Haven't I seen you somewhere before, mister? No, wrong person. Sorry I went to the temple and hasn't come back. I wouldn't worry about her. She's dead. Have you been traveling around much, mister? You ever met a boy named Lore? Mito said the Great Deku Tree withered because that boy did something wrong to it. Only Saria defended Lore, till she left. Maybe we misunderstood. Sorry, let's read that correctly. She doesn't say it again. By the way, another fun thing you can name Link as in this game is Zelda. And I don't mean just for the usual reason. I mean, every time you talk with Zelda or Impa, it's really funny if you name yourself Zelda. Zelda walks up to you. What's your name? Zelda. It's an unusual name. I've never heard it before, but it's got a familiar ring to it. Since the great Deku Tree withered, more meanies have started appearing in the forest. I'm scared. Ah, don't worry, they're all just going to kill you. And eat you. An evil wind is blowing from the direction of the Forest Temple, which makes sense since it was originally the Wind Temple. Forest Temple's in the Sacred Meadow on the far side of the woods. Where's Saraya? Do you know Saraya, mister? That's weird. Where's Mito gone during such an emergency? And yeah, by the way, they do a deliberate trick here. Now, they do this in general. The camera is further out and further up when you're an adult than when you're a child. But nowhere is that more obvious than here. In fact, I've had a suspicion for a while that the camera actually plays even more tricks than it usually does, just to emphasize how different this place looks. Like, I can't be the only one who looks around and looks at this like this is a playground now, instead of the town it looked like earlier. Just with a little bit of additional camera work. I could be wrong. That could be me projecting. I don't know. Koshiro? Why? Normally only a nice guy like me can tame you. Which means you must be a nice guy. Please, Mr. Nice Guy, please. Deliver this to the old hag in the potion shop in Kakariko. It'll disappear if you take too long. You gotta hurry. An old mushroom. A fresh mushroom like this is sure to spoil quickly. 3 minutes. Don't worry. I'll get you your drugs. Your delicious, delicious drugs. Yeah, by the way, this is the guy who was disgusted at the world. He was kind of going through an emo teenager phase, right? And then Ganondorf took over Castletown. So he came here. Really think about that for 5 seconds. Like think about what that implies. Yeah, no, he went there to die. 100%. And he was shocked that he saw that there's one other nice person in the world. Us. By virtue of us being with Koshiro, who likes us. So, holy crap, if there's another nice person, maybe there's a reason to live. Maybe he can keep living. Probably not. Not this. We're definitely doing this during the time sequences, sorry. You know, that's right. Oh yeah, several of the shops from Castletown move here. Which makes sense. That's more of a gameplay thing than anything else. What a mysterious smell. You must have something. She's got a baby tiger. That fool. He had to go into the forest. Let's see. Give it to me now. Okay. You see that fool, give this to him. It's the strongest medicine I have ever produced. However, this poultice will not work on a monster. What a strange thing to say. They say that there's no medicine that can cure a fool. I guess that's true. Oh, by the way, we can also save and quit to teleport in this section as well. But it sends us back to the Temple of Time instead of to Kokiri. I guess I'm not in a hurry anymore. Can't justify the rolling. Yeah, sorry, I killed chat. The hardest 3D Zelda dungeon? Oh. So let's eject Wind Waker from the equation, because to be totally honest, I don't remember any of the Wind Waker dungeons. So that just leaves Skyward Ocarina and Twilight. Oh, and Majora, sorry. See, ironically, I was about to say Stone Temple, which is what reminded me that Majora existed. Stone Temple, yeah, that one's... It's a fun thing. The Sky Temple is certainly its own brand of mead. I think it'd be easier to pick one per section. So for this game, for example, I would pick the Shadow Temple. Easy answer, really. Not counting Master Quest. And if I'm counting the Master Quest dungeons, I'd probably go with Spirit Temple. Master Quest Spirit Temple. Not in a good way. Hello? That guy isn't here anymore. Except for the Kokiri, people who come into the forest end up lost. They all become Stalfos. That's why he's not here anymore. Only his saws left. That guy isn't here anymore. Yeah, the thing I just said. That medicine is made out of forest mushrooms. Give it back! Okay. That guy must have left it behind. Are you going to become one too? Spoilers, yes. Frickin' Faye. Well, we got a saw now. Not much of a hint as to what to do next. Up until now, it's been pretty clear. What you're supposed to do is just kind of roam the world more or less randomly, and then at some point, you will end up in the Gerudo Valley section, and then it's like, oh, hey. We're just going to go ahead and do that now. It's because we're full, I'm pretty sure. No, it might be because of the... I don't know, is the answer to it. Yeah, I know, right, Ginkgo? Now, in the interest of fairness, I don't think that the hero's fate is that grim. Not to spoil too much, but A, he probably had a long and prosperous life, since we do know that the Twilight Link is a descendant of this Link, which means this Link, at very least, had children. And, well, that probably means he had a decent life before, you know, he didn't pass on. Second of all, his inclusion into Twilight is the reason why that timeline manages to conclude decisively. Ganondorf is permanently destroyed, and they have a happily ever after. So, it's not like it was for nothing, either. Still, yeah, he turned into a Stalfos, and he apparently made it work for him. Go figure. I'm a master craftsman. Those Gerudo thieves, they broke the bridge! I want to fix it, but all my workers are gone. They said working as carpenters and cool, so they went to the Gerudo's Fortress to become thieves. Hey, you! You're going to the fortress. Do you mind finding out what my workers are doing over there? And we can do that now, but I'd rather have the bow first. We could do that now. You know what, sure. Let's see what we can accomplish, shall we? Just for kicks. Let's see how this is if we come here, like, first. Okay, we don't have the long shot, and we don't have the bow. But I'm pretty sure this is actually possible. Epona was one of the first things they came up with for the game. It's one of the reasons they spent so much time and effort on modeling the animation for the horse. Mandatory stealth section. If you're caught, it's instant failure, and you have to start over. You retain progress, but like if I free this guy, then he is still freed, whether I reset or not. But I always start over at the beginning of the section. This isn't great. I have no idea where he came from, but he must have a lot of guts to make it past all the guards around here. All my fellow carpenters are imprisoned somewhere in here. You can get us out of here. We'll repay the favor somehow. Be careful. There's sure to be Gerudo guards somewhere around here. Like right behind you! She also has a move that instantly kills you. Not used to doing this without the big Goron. That's a problem. Like I said, there's like 3 tools we could get to make this whole sequence easier. We do not have right now. I mean, probably not Bionic Punk. They probably don't really care for him that much. I'm Ichiro, the carpenter. We were interested in joining their all-female group, but they locked us up just because we're men. We don't care about Gerudo anymore. They're just so rude. I don't know, he looks feminine enough to me. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even realize, because of course I have the full-size screen, that the hearts are right there. But yeah, they're on the bottom thing. Bottom screen. See if I can even remember the route through here without the long shot. Should do that slightly more cleanly this time. Yeah, I was hoping for something other than money. Something other. Okay, okay, cool. How about hearts? Hey, hearts. Okay. I feel better now. Oh my god, it's the same exact dialogue from before. Jesus, lady. I should mention, whoop, and she got me. I saw it coming too late. That's the insta-kill. Stupid kid. Get in there and keep quiet. I mean, they're not murderers. They're thieves. Big difference. That's why they all run around with naginatas and constantly try to kill... Look. It's a brand thing, okay? I don't believe so. Or rather, you'd probably have to do some serious bugging to get to this part of the game without the hook shot. Let me actually think about that for a second. No, I'm wrong. All you'd have to do is just get Epona in order to cross the thing and then immediately come in here. But yeah, you can't actually be soft-locked because you can just warp out. You can also save and quit, which is functionally warp out, even if you have absolutely nothing else at this point in the game. Two down. Oh, right here. I'd rather work as a carpenter than work for these scary women. I can't wait to say goodbye to this place. Two of my buddies are still being held prisoner, too. Yeah, I always got the impression that Ganondorf kind of walked away from the desert and just let Kumi and Katake do their own thing. And they mind control. Like, definitively. Okay, so now I'm not sure how to do this without the long shot. Okay. Yeah, it's been argued many times that Kumi and Katake are actually the... You know what I mean, right? Like, there's the person who's not the villain, but they're the ones who's responsible for all the horrible stuff in the setting. You know, Hojo from FF7, right? Or Geshtal from FF6. In other words, the idea being that Kumi and Katake are actually the people who are responsible for all the crap that Ganondorf is and will eventually become. Right, it's Demise! Demise is just... No, he doesn't exist. Boom, he's gone. Just like that. Don't say that name to me again. But, yeah. I could buy that. Bad upbringing, you know. Bad upbringing will bring out the worst in a lot of people. I have not Star Wars. Or rather, I have for like 1 hour. I don't think it really counts. I will be right back. Yeah, it's another thing. Imagine being grown up in a wasteland where you're told you are the promised king of everyone, being raised by Kumi and Katake. Like, just picture how messed up that would put you. Okay, so where are they at? Yeah, there's 2 of them, as I thought. Peripheral vision does not exist. Okay. While we're here. No, I'd rather sleep at night, Best in Slot Mark. If that's okay with you. This is my least favorite part of the whole sequence right here. It's this twit. I did delay it a little bit too long. No, we're okay, we're okay. God damn it, I went for the lunge. Ah, alright. I mean, Urbosa's more terrifying. She's also more of a dick, so we'll go with Naburo. Or Naburu, I guess is how you pronounce that. That's true, Baron, and makes much more sense if there was never any, like... Actually, no, that makes less sense, doesn't it? Ah, whatever. I'm still gonna pick Naburu. Yeah, so your workers are screwed. But hey, I found your son's saw. I left it with my old lady. Oh, well. My Begoron tool broke, so I was going to the Goron City to get it repaired. Your coming here is great timing. Will you give me my saw? Good kid. Thanks. Sorry, I can't give you something as good in return, but take this anyway. The broken Goron Sword. Where's... Oh, I guess I... That was a good scene, Ross. So I'm thinking. Let's do this. It is possible to do Begoron without Epona. I wouldn't even do that. Yes, all of this is in-game music. You can tell because there's sound effects playing. Doing this without the bow is going to be interesting. But we're going to do it. Although... Meh. Changed my mind. Time I've been very talkative. I'm very tired. Combination of stress and everything. Plus, you know, obviously, I'm still fighting something off right now. That's the wrong song. God damn it. And this is where Witcher 3 got it from. So, similar to the Dark World, I'm going to say that a lot. You can do a lot of this in just about any order. There's a very clear intended order, just like there was in LTTP. The game very much wants you to do the Wood Temple, then the Fire Temple, then the Water Temple, then the Shadow Temple, then the Spirit Temple, and that is clearly the intended order. Everything about the way the game guides you, the way the quests are presented, the way the items help with later things, all of that indicates that. You don't have to do it in that order. Oh, nice, Braven. I already like it. Does the N64 version do anything better other than lighting on the final boss? It's buggier, which is helpful for speedrunning. I'm barely joking. I know several people who specifically prefer the N64 version because it's buggier. Who do you think you are? That Kokiri-like clothing won't fool me. I promise, sorry, I would never let anybody through here. If you want to see her that bad, I'm gonna need proof that you're really a friend of hers. Something you could have only heard from her. Not that she'd ever be friends with a grown-up like you. Yet I'm 17. Yeah, no, I think the lighting on the final boss is it. Unlike Majora, which is a little bit more of a mixed badge. Bag. What a hot beat. By the way, there's actually another way to tell which way is the correct way. What, Navi? What's going on in the forest right now? Shut up. So if you edge ever so slightly up to the shadow, if it starts loading a new area like that, you're going the right way. If you happen to, not remember the route. So, to continue the idea of... Yes, thank you, Navi. To continue the idea of how the game kind of wants you to do things in a certain order, these guys get one shot by the hook shot. Hence the name. Although, in fairness, as I've said before, getting hit by hook shots sounds very painful. Yeah, if they see you, they charge. If they charge you, they smash you into the opposing wall, by the way. Yeah, these are the moblins of the game, and pretty much some of the only time we see moblins in this entire game. They talk a few times about the minions of Ganondorf, but this is kind of it. Then there's the big boy. We'll talk about him in just a second. Kind of like that. That was a little buggy, but sure. Oh, you can kill them with the sword, but why bother? I can just one-shot him. Peekaboo. Where did he go? He's invisible. Oh, he's dead. So, there's a bunch of fairy spots. This is, and has been for a long time, my personal favorite fairy spot in the game, right here. If you're paying attention, we've actually already seen this fairy spot, because we've already left this particular spot when we got Saria's song earlier. So we're going to go ahead and fill up a little bit. Thank you. Okay. So, like I said, there's the big guy. If he hits you, it's a knockback. He's got 3 angles of attack, left, right, and middle. As you can see, it knocks you back all the way to the beginning. Hey, buddy. Nice little moment here. How to make a scene without actually doing anything. Just the shot of the stump where Saria used to be sitting. And us looking at it, you know. And that's it. That's all you have to do. That's animation right there. The flow of time is always cruel. Speed seems different for each person, but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. Citation needed. In order to come back here again, play the Minuet of Forest. Our first teleport song. And a very subtle but interesting point. All the songs we learn as adults, with one exception, are more complex than simply 3-note. Almost assuredly done on purpose. Oh, we could crush Sheik like a bug. You kidding me, Ross? Haven't you seen Terminal Montage? Every time Sheik shows up, slice! Dungeon time. So, I asked earlier, what is the best designed dungeon? And I stand by my answer. It is Dodongo's Cavern. A lot of people picked this dungeon because they felt it was their favorite, which is a different question. Honestly, this is in challenge for my own favorite. There's only one other dungeon that comes close, and that is the Spirit Temple. And those two kind of duke it out for me, personally. It's some good stuff. The music is wonderful, very well designed, and again, I wish I could do proper justice and spend 10 minutes sitting here discussing exactly how much effort they put into this. Trust me when I say better and smarter people than I have already dissected this music. This is also the Palace of Darkness equivalent, to continue the parallels to LTTP. Remember, Palace of Darkness was one of the biggest and most maze-like of all of the dungeons in the Dark World, and it had the most possible routes to go through it. It was very, very open-ended, it was huge, but it was also very, very lucrative, which should sound familiar. Oh, and just because if I don't say it, someone will think I forgot about it. Yes, this used to be the Wind Temple. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This feels like one of the mansions, manors, lords' castles, something like that. This is probably where one of the noble lords of Hyrule lived during the war. A war they probably were on the losing side of, because the place is very clearly abandoned and also cursed to hell. Well, they've been here for a long time, yeah. Also makes sense that the forest... Remember, each of these areas is at least ostensibly under the domain of the King of Hyrule. Now, he maintains political allies, so he's got a vassal in the King of the Zora. He's got a vassal in the King of the Goron. We don't really know his relationship to the Gerudo. But it's clear that he had some kind of domain over the forest. After all, one of the Hyruleans, the Hylians, I should say, had no issues with fleeing to the forest in order to try and escape the war. In other words, Hyrule had some kind of presence out here. Yeah, Castle of Two Sisters. Good way to put that. Sorry, jotting down some notes. Let's do this. Okay. Sorry about all that. We can actually block these guys now. Don't worry, there's no shield durability. Generally excellent. It didn't score the best as far as dungeon design we've seen, but I think it was like third. Unless we count Breath of the Wild, in which case it scooches down a step. It's weird rating dungeon design so high in Breath of the Wild, but I don't know what else to call it. I guess it's not really dungeon design, it's more like level design, but it is still the same general concept. So this whole sequence is designed to teach you how to use the hookshot. Not perfect, don't want to overpraise, but that is the intent here. As much as I love this dungeon, it might actually garner an egg. Negative, we'll see. More hookshot fun, you can kill Skulltulas from the front with the hookshot. Oh, definitely me, Bella. Yeah, there's a little bit of a guidance issue with this dungeon. There's very clearly an intended order. And you can do this dungeon in a lot of orders, like I just mentioned, but... There's also a specific point which is really easy to get stuck at, and I've technically already reached it because I've already gotten the key that helps to unlock that point. More enemies that are weak to the hookshot, by the way. Well, weak is the wrong word for it, but whatever. No magic powder this time, so we can't turn those into fairies. And arguably one of the hardest enemies in the game in terms of sheer combat capacity, because there's only so much you can do against these guys, other than wait for them to lower their guard by attacking you. Or you can have the Goron Sword, which actually pushes past the defense of most enemies. It's one of the benefits of the thing. Yeah, these guys and the Iron Knuckles are probably where you're going to lose a 3-heart challenge run, because if you get hit at all, you're dead. Oh yeah, I guess I can top this. What do you say, Navi? Guard against its blue flame with your shield. Oh yeah, you can also do this. I actually forgot about that. Hey, buddy. What's up? So much of this dungeon's designed around the hook shot. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. It makes sense. You have to have the hook shot to even get in here. So the first half of the dungeon is puzzles centered around it. Not quite to the extent of Link Between Worlds, but definitely in the same direction. Ugh, this room. This room in Master Quest is just awful. Like, whatever complaints you have about seconds and minutes or things taking a while once you solve the puzzle, this room smashes that all into the ground in the Master Quest version. Yep, I know there's arrows. Thank you, Navi. I can see. Probably Bella. It wouldn't surprise me. There's a few parts of this game, even in the original, which feel like a bit of a QA, hey, maybe we should add such and such kind of a thing. By the way, I do like the sound effect indicating when you can no longer push. Once again, going back to that fantastic sound design. Pay attention, Laura. You'll notice the density of a lot of these rooms is a lot higher already than what we had in the child dungeons. Like, this whole room we're going through here is actually pretty small. I do think it has some problems because of the camera issues, which, I mean, yeah, there's not a lot to get around that. It's a shame because for the most part they do some good stuff with the camera in this game. Oh, I should mention something. Sorry, I haven't really properly showed this up. So, two things. First, those eyeball things. We've actually already interacted with those eyeball switches. All we need is to use the slingshot. We don't have the slingshot. So all we have is this, which does nothing. Second of all, imagine reaching this point, seeing a locked door and going, huh? Try to think about the layout of the dungeon for a second. We walk in, there's the Wolfos, there's the door. We go through the door, kill the Skulltula, watch the cutscene, Go fight 2 Stalfos, get a key. Key gets us the side door, gets us into here. We do the little block pushing puzzle we get up top. There's another key door. This is the first of those stuck points I mentioned earlier. And I will freely admit, the first time I played this game, I was stuck right here for a decent amount of time because I didn't know about the key that was at the very top of the antechamber. Then we do some cool stuff. Thanks, Navi. Gotta have cool stuff. That's pretty much them just playing around with the hardware there. But then we do this. And that's another key door. So what do we miss? And you start to see why, despite everything, this dungeon might actually deserve a negative as well, because the flow of this dungeon is not good. I get that it's trying to get across the idea of how the Dark World, how the adult dungeons operate. But I mean, honestly, right? Good news is, just like an LTTP, backtracking does not take too long. We're already back in the central room. But now what? I mean, that door over there is locked down. We can't get up there. Those are just some refills. Those are just some refills. There's nowhere else to go. I mean, I guess we could go over here. Figure out what this nonsense is. So let's see what this nonsense is. And I can never remember it. Really should memorize it. We're going to use it a lot. God, you use that song so much in Master Quest. Okay, so nice little outdoors garden-y kind of a spot. Oh, what's this over here? Oh, they got like a fountain? Yeah, here we go. Little well. If you look very briefly, you can see there's a chest down there, but let's just pretend we didn't see that for a second. I'm gonna wait a moment. Uh-oh. Now this room, if you're paying attention, is supposed to be done before the other 2 rooms we just did. Again, I'm trying to show off how this dungeon is supposed to go a little bit. Because this is the tutorial for the bubbles, which if you're paying attention, we fought twice prior to now. There's our general layout, too. It even looks like a manor. Let me look at it. Oh, that lowered the water. Nice. I guess we could go see what's going on with that, then. I do love that little bit of... It's a good sound effect. Praise to the actor for that. Or I guess actress. Listen, we didn't need all that bone cartilage anyway. It's fine. It's fine. I get the strong impression the Fae, excuse me, the Kokiri, used to come down here and play a lot. To explain a lot of the paintings and whatnot. Hey, and there's our key. I would say, if you put a gun to my head, I would say this place probably started getting twisted, you know, in between the war and the beginning of the game. The 10 years. Having said that, it wouldn't surprise me if it got even worse in more recent times. Like, maybe the Poes were always here, right? But then, like, the monsters and the other stuff started moving in as a result of Ganondorf being like, Mwah. Hang on, I'm actually a little turned around. I want to go this way. There we go. I think I have that compass already, right? So we had to go through an entire branch just to get one small key. Sound familiar? I'll get used to that concept. Water temple. Oh, if you don't kill them quickly enough, they light on fire again, by the way. Now, the good news is, even though, you know, we have to go walking through this room again, at least the puzzle remains solved, right? Right, okay, yeah. So, blocks 2 remain solved. So, fixing the problem of, I don't know, spirit tracks. We don't have to actually do the entire block puzzle. Could you imagine? If anything could push Forest Temple into negative territory, it would be having to redo each puzzle every time we go through the rooms. God. There's already a bit of backtracking in this dungeon. But yeah, like stuff like this probably happened after the war. The literal skulls and monsters and creatures, I could see that being Ganondorf's influence. I love how overrun. Can I just pause for a moment? They did something which doesn't make much sense literally, but makes sense metaphorically. There's vines and moss growing inside. Like it's seeped into the temple from outside, from the forest. I'm not actually sure if that's how that works. I guess I shouldn't say that in ignorance. But it does really add to the vibe of the place. So, we've already fought Stalfos. Now fight Stalfos with less room. I'm going to back up a bit here, because we want to get him stuck in a loop. Oh, we failed. Now we gotta do it again. Probably something combat-oriented under this. Refill, because this guy's hurt. One of the only games Stalfos are actually mean in. Right here. Remember when these were low-level nothing enemies in Zelda 1? Yeah, exactly. Put Ganondorf in a beat-em-up. His, like, hyper mode or whatever. I forget what that's actually called in Yakuza, but, you know, his Titan mode. That's when he actually pulls out the trident. The rest of the time, he just beats the crap out of people with his bare hands. Like he does in Smash. And there's the bow. We have now replaced the slingshot. I didn't actually do that, but whatever. Hello, Yada. Yep, time to go back to the Gerudo Fortress. Now that we got the bow. I'll do it at the intended order. Although I am probably going to get Big Goron, like, next. Yes, that is the laughter of the boos from Super Mario 64. A little modified, but same concept. See, what I would probably do is I'd probably do a threefer, right? So first, you fight a giant kaiju as Ganondorf. Then, you fight a bunch of stuff as Giant Ganon. Then you fight a giant kaiju as Ganon, as Giant Ganon, right? Get the experience of all three things there. poisoned me, Takoda. I was just checking if the bow actually bends in the animation in this game. I can't quite tell. Okay, so... it looks like it actually does. Holy crap. So it looks like they actually got it right. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. Yeah, it's not much, because it really is a short bow, but... it looks like it actually does. Oh, 100%, tell you. You kidding me? Nintendo cross-pollinates all the time in their design team, so... I guarantee you some of the Luigi's Mansion team was thinking about this when they did that. Oh yeah, we can also do this. This is Beth, one of the Poe sisters. Aim for her when she appears. You mean other than the third Oracle game they never made? That I'm not sure of, Bonaclon. How does Navi know their names? Interesting question. Navi has the Triforce of Wisdom. That makes so much sense. Okay. Now we are cooking with gas. So we want to do... so now we can do several chunks of the dungeon in several orders. Let me go this way first, though. Since we got that key earlier. Yep, I know. Thank you. The Wall Masters are actually really easy to bypass in this game, because they only spawn, they only exist under very specific circumstances. Right. Which is specifically if you are on, like, basic flat land like this. If you, it's the moment you'd, like, change something, you'll watch this. So the hand starts spawning, but then as soon as I get on the ladder, the hand despawns. See? Now we actually have to backtrack first. God. Yeah, it turns out the goddesses are just a couple of bored fairies, or like, you know... Yeah, no, there's like a behind-the-scenes manual that Navi has access to. She's just flipping through it. Hang on, let's see. That one's name is Beth, apparently. She's got the Hyrule Historia just in the back there. You can barely hold it up because it's so heavy. Just... oh, her uncle works at Nintendo. So she's Yura? Very cool effect, especially on the N64. I still cannot believe they managed to get that working on the N64. No. Dorf, he's also evil. Dorf's whole shtick is that he's like that really irritating, power-hungry manager at McDonald's who thinks he's this really big shot who's like just the cream of the crop, and he's a manager at McDonald's. He's a dick to everybody. Is it here? There it is. So, we are shy a key. Paying attention, that's the second time that's been true. So let's look at the map. What do we got? What do we got? Looks like we're missing a key over there. Or a chest, I should say. I know we can't go down yet, so let's just ignore that. So it's got to be one of these things. It obviously can't be that. That's how we progress. So why don't we go ahead and head down. See what we can access right now. God, that bubble really wanted that. That was funny. Oh yeah, fun thing. You can also kill those with... Where did its corpse go? With the bow. I have cooked during a heat wave, because, you know, I've lived in hot places in my life. Yeah, she's just making up the names as she goes. Like, oh yeah, that one's Beth. Totes. I've also cooked during winter in order to save on heating bills before. Damn it, hang on a sec. I literally have something in my eye. Okay. I actually don't remember how to get up there. I already went down. And already... Oh, duh. Okay, yep. I just missed it earlier. Yeah, hey, Fi. Could have actually gotten here the other way too, but you know, whatever. Come on, game. Work with me here. Game. Game. Game, we need to have a chat. Okay, listen. Game? Game? You listening? Okay. I know you hate me in all life. Forever. I need you to suck slightly less, okay? Yeah, all that work for a heart. I mean, the Skulltula was the real reward there, but still. Yeah, the fact that they just give you a heart for that, that's just kind of a dick move, you know? I feel like that's a... Oh, no, that can't be. That's the way out from that section. Yeah, that's a Scarecrow spot. Which we could do, but Scarecrow is never an intended method. In fact, most people probably don't even know the Scarecrow exists. How do I get up there? Well, I shot that eye. That's what you mean. Is there another eye? Already got that chest. Already got that. What am I missing? It's going to be something really dumb as soon as I remember it. Or stumble into it. Forest Temple, ladies and gentlemen. Not just yet, Bionic. That's true. I guess that's fair, Dream Whisperer. Alright, we'll go do that. I actually backtracked on purpose because I thought I missed something, but it's looking more and more like I didn't actually miss anything. So let's assume I didn't miss anything, and let's move forward. Oh yeah, by the way, haven't even shown this off yet. Sorry. You can do this. You can also do this. The spin the circle, so if you spin the analog and then do an attack, it does a free spin attack. Instead of costing you money. Yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to get to. That's funny. It's literally, I was like, how do I get up there? I don't remember how to get up there. God. So, these jackasses. Wow, game. Oh my god! I'm getting animation lock trying to shoot him. There we go. Oh yeah, it doesn't cost you stamina this time around, so that's nice. Don't worry, they're not quite as annoying in this game, like I said. Probably one of the only Zelda games where we won't give that a negative. So there's our key. So, a lot of backtracking for one key. For the second time, if you're paying attention. Like, even if we knew where we're going there, that still would have involved going back through the two... Going back up top, going back to the other thing, hitting the thing with the switch, twisting, or rather untwisting it. Speaking of which, now we gotta retwist it. God dang it. Link! Work with me here. Damn, they didn't respawn. Okay, I don't know. I've always assumed you have to retwist it to get back to where we are currently. I could entirely be wrong. Who knows? It doesn't really matter. That's not really part of the backtracking at this point. Okay, no hearts to be found. Legend of Zelda, pants to be darkened. There's no chairs we can just sit in. Oh yeah, here's our injured animation, by the way. Hey, Roy-ting. One of the cooler puzzles of the sequence. So there's a switch, but it's got ice on it. Was that coming out today? Oh, wow. I do hope it is the funds. And not 90 hours long. Well, if it makes you feel better, I will never do a rumination on it, just like I never did one for Elden Ring. But, we'll see if we ever review it. Ooh, there. I mean, it's okay. By this point, Elden Ring's been out for a while. I can cheat nowadays. I managed Elden Ring vanilla without cheats. I think I'm good. Just walk in. Turn on the cheat flag immediately. I'm joking. But at least it's an option, you know? You think I might ruminate on it? Nope. 100% chance I will not ruminate on anything ever again. So anyways, this room, because the developers have played Final Fantasy VI. Andor's later. Ruminations were cancelled at this point almost 6 years ago now. In October, it will have actually been 6 years. This is not news. This. It's a trap. Please give me a heart so I can at least get rid of the beeping. Nope. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's do this type of puzzle. So we've already just killed them. Now we have to do the block puzzles. You have 1 minute. There are 5 pieces. 4 of them fit together. This is relatively easy, but I can't tell you how many times I've been pushing the last block into pace and the time has run out. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why I'm so harsh about the no ruminations thing, I'm not trying to be mean about it. It's a psychological thing. If you do the thing where you hedge, you know, like, oh, maybe, then people don't listen. I'm saying that wrong. People don't process mentally that that's a maybe. They process it as a yes. This is something we learn when we're taking care of children. Can I have a cookie? Maybe means, can I have a cookie? Yes, right? It's just the way they intake it. Or input it, or however you want to take that. So instead, I say, no. Firmly and definitively. You cannot have a cookie. You know what I mean. You can have a cookie, Roiting. I'm okay with that. That's right. There's a chance. There's a chance. You get what I mean. This is an actual thing. I forget what it's called. This actually applies to a lot of situations. You don't leave that wiggle room if the answer is no. And we don't want to say no because we don't want to be mean, right? Like that's why it's such a trap. We're trying to be nice about it. It's like, well, you know, maybe someday I'll do ruminations again because I don't want to be mean about it. But the answer is no, I'm never doing ruminations again. So I should just be honest about it. Just thunk, you know. It's a very bad thing in relationships. Like in general, my god. We have not found any hearts in quite a while. It's been several minutes now. But now, we're actually pretty much ready for the boss, right? Well, wrong, because we got one last little section of, I don't want to say padding, but padding to go through. Man. Oh, that's irritating. Let's try that again. It's going to be irritating without proper aiming. It's you. Ugh. Yeah, this is just me in real life right now. Gasping for breath, tired, while ghosts surround me, demanding ruminations. Ruminate. Ruminate. Reunion. Sorry. Still no hearts. Alright, Dark Knight. Wait, I did one on the Dark... Oh, no, I didn't do one publicly on the Dark Knight. Right. Yeah, we're doing an Oko run, apparently. I like the new addition of the scrapes to help indicate that you can do what I just did, by the way. Little touches like that. Yeah, I should do what every other YouTuber does, and I should go watch my stuff from 10 years ago so we can all cringe at how terrible it is. That's not happening, by the way. It's been suggested, but God, no. If you ever want to see me literally die from cringe. No, I don't have that kind of endurance to endure earlier me. There's a reason that playlist is still, to this day, labeled The Old and Terrible. Yep, I'm gonna make a new singularity. It really does just erase them. Did you see that? Like, his corpse just vanished. My god. God, the Borg video was so bad. I should just unlist that right now. It is just such a terrible video.
Interesting paintings. I'm not sure what of, but once again gets across that idea of this being like some noble lord's place, right? This is the family hallway, you know? Yeah, absolutely, Ryman. Like, this was kind of always the goal. Then I drifted out of that, and I drifted back into it. And by drifted into it, I mean forced myself kicking and screaming back into it. So, yes, we must end the past. Kill it if you have to. Before I fight the upcoming boss, I've deleted it, Ross. Pray I do not delete it any further. This is Phantom Ganon, obviously, for those of you who played this game. This game, this boss was actually inspired directly by the original version of this game. You're probably thinking, okay, what does Phantom Ganon have to do with anything? In the original version of this, there wasn't any kind of overworld. This is a similar. If this sounds familiar, it's because you've watched me talk about Skyward Sword. Originally, this was all just a bunch of zones, which were connected by paintings. And there were these painting portals you could walk through in order to enter, like, the Zora, you know, the water temple, or there was a painting portal you could walk through to enter the fire temple, or so forth and so on. Now, eventually they were able to push the limits of the N64 to actually make that work properly, but that was the original intent. Now, they pushed away from that pretty early on, but I bring that up because they really liked the idea of doing something with that. So I present to you something with that. Which is me opening the door. Jesus, Link. Good morning, Savicom. It's okay. Twitch knows that YouTube videos must be deleted. Oh, there's nothing here. Well, I guess I'll just leave. Oh no, I couldn't possibly get past that. Oh no, it's Ganon himself! And also a weapon so cool I drew my own version of this back in high school. I love the trident. I'm sorry. There's a couple of strategies here. Also, we are firmly in the bosses week to the boss dungeon item era of Zelda at this point. I love how the perspective is just completely off at certain angles. If you let him get through, he does a big AoE attack that hits the whole arena, by the way. So much easier with the gyro, by the way. Well, easier is not even the right word. It's just better with the gyro. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, okay, we'll do it this way. I'm pretty sure all of those shirts, like, don't even exist anymore, Bella. Long since given away to Goodwill. Or the trash can. Yep, gotta get that tennis quoted in. Don't worry, there's actually 2 tennis bosses in this game. I'm going to check my YouTube metrics later. Your video about the Borg is exploding for some reason. Yeah, way too early. Way too early. I agree with you, Bella. It's especially bad in a game like this where it's relying on what is effectively a diagonal perspective. So it's kind of hard to judge distance. I have died here because it's just legitimately hard for me to do the depth perception, you know? Not this time, though. Hey, kid, you did quite well. Looks like you may be gaining some slight skill. But you've defeated only my phantom. When you fight the real me, it won't be so easy. What a worthless creation that ghost was. I'll banish it to the gap between dimensions. Yep, Ganondorf is a bad boss, confirmed. True, Cyclops. As with so many things, the 3DS version is a bit better. So, for reasons we'll discuss later, pretty much all the sages don't really become sages until they're dead. Now, some of that's presumptive, and some of that is much more clear. It could also be that not all of them are dead. Some of them are dead, and some of them are not. But I mention that because we haven't seen Saria this entire time. All we know is she went to the Forest Temple by herself, and then we don't see her again until we beat the temple. I'll allow you to presume from that what you will. I always believed you would come, because I know you. Well, no, you don't have to explain it to me. It is destiny that you and I can't live in the same world. I'll stay here as the Forest Sage and help you. Now please take this medallion. And yeah, it's worth noting, this game has absolutely no hesitance about killing characters, and indeed, several characters in this game have absolutely no hesitance about murdering people. So, yeah. I will always be your friend. Here's a really weird thought for you. This Saria, after the events of this game, never sees us again. Hi there! I'm the Deku Tree Sprout. Because you and Saria broke the curse on the Forest Temple, I can grow and flourish. Thanks a lot! Have you seen your old friends? None of them recognized you with your grown-up body, did they? It's because the Kokiri never grew up. Even after 7 years, they're still kids. You can call them, Koroks. You must be wondering why only you have grown up. Well, as you might have guessed, you're not a Kokiri. You're actually a Hylian. I'm happy to finally reveal the secret to you. The previous me would have done it, but he was dying, so he had other things on his mind. Now, we've actually talked about this before, but some time ago, before the King of Hyrule unified this country, there was a fierce war. One day, to escape from the fires of war, a Hylian mother and her baby boy... Oh, so we were already born at this point, too. The mother was gravely injured. Her only choice was to entrust the child to the Deku Tree, the guardian spirit of the forest. The Deku Tree could sense this was the child of destiny, whose fate would affect the entire world, so he took them in. Is that the only reason? Would you turn away a baby? After the mother passed away, the baby was raised as Kokiri, and now finally the day of destiny has come. Your whole life was a lie! You're a Hylian, and you were always bound to leave this forest, and now you've learned your own destiny, so you know what you must do. That's right, you must save the land of Hyrule. Break the curses in all the temples and return peace to Hyrule. It's a surprise Lord Saria was one of the sages, wasn't it, Laura? Remember how Sheik knew. Anyway, off to the Temple of Time. Probably Bella, which means I'm glad that the Deku Tree is dead, because screw him! Alright, I'm just warping back here. Hey, Sheik, I'm here. Where did you come from? Well, I quit to the menu screen. What? No, Talia. In fact, we know almost nothing about that war, except that it was a civil war. And we can presume a few tidbits about it, but we know very little about it. You destroyed the wicked creatures that haunted the temple and awakened the sage. But there's still other sages who need your help. In order to awaken all the other sages, you must become even more powerful. You must travel over mountains, underwater, through time. If you want to return to your original time, return the pedestal here, and you will travel back in time 7 years. If you want to challenge the mighty foes you've defeated again, make for the bed in your childhood home, and you should be able to fight your boss. As a boss rush mode, they added. The time will come when you have to return here quickly. I will teach you this. The Prelude of Light. You'll hear this song a lot, too, because this is the Teleport to the Temple of Time song, which is a very, very quick way to warp back to the past. Very, very, very little, Loke. Based on the timeline, we know that the war was still going on 10 years ago. We also know that the war has ended sometime in the last 10 years. We know that the war was part of... Well, no, actually, I'm going to stop there. If we're talking about the stuff we know absolutely, that actually might be the list. All the other stuff is presumption. Okay. Now, we have decent evidence for some of that presumption, but still. Conjecture is actually a better word for that. For example, based on the connection between the Zora and the Hylians and the Gorons and the Hylians, it's very likely that they were at the very least involved in that war. And the fact that they have such tight connections to the Hylian family, and the king in specific, who was assuredly the king during the war, probably implies a few things about the connections between the Gorons, the Zora, and the Hylians. The fact that the Gerudo have no formal representative and only very, very recently sent their leaders in order to treat with the king, during the events of the game no less, also implies that the Gerudo did not have a particularly strong connection with Hylians. One of the most common conjectures is that the Gerudo were on the other side of the war, either actually attacking Hyrule, or working as mercenaries for whoever was attacking Hyrule. Well, they're valid, obviously. But all of that's conjecture based on the evidence on the screen. Yeah, who the main opposing faction is, we don't see them anywhere. Although there is an entire temple filled to the brim with the dead. So... I have poisoned you, haven't I, Silphicon? You know what? Actually, while we're here... Look out! Look out! No, he didn't listen. It's okay, he's apparently invincible. No, all the dead we see are bones, Loke. There is a quote that stuck with me ever since, although I don't remember it word for word. It's a really good quote, though. Something like, "Here lies the buried history, the bloody history of Hyrule's violence and greed," or something like that. It's a powerful little quote. I've always presumed it was a civil war, mostly due to what I just mentioned, but also the fact that there really is no enemy faction to be seen. There's not even a hint of any of the nations or lands beyond the borders of this area. We get tidbits of that in some of the other games, like Minish Cap or the Oracle's games, which I just realized are all Capcom games. We don't get anything here. So, there's no Gorons here. I'm just going to give this away. If you explore the whole city, There are no Gorons in, like, this entire city except for one. Oh yeah, there's also the fact that the Sheikah were assuredly involved in whatever bloody slaughter happened. Because remember, it's a significant plot point that the Sheikah owned Kakariko, that was a noble landed spot, like a freehold, that was beholden to the King of Hyrule on behalf of the Sheikah. And, well, the well. Oops, too far. Damn it, I did it again. I mean, warring over the Triforce is a time-honored pastime in this setting. Oh, assuredly, Snake Eyes. Damn it. A little too slow. I'm glad you're liking it, Luke. It deserves to be liked. There's a couple ways to do this. But yeah, good luck figuring this out without a guide. As with most Zelda games, this will probably get a walkthrough on this negative, because plonk, I missed. And now I gotta wait again. Well, let's see what Navi says. Maybe she helps out. There's something strange about Death Mountain. Thanks, Navi. You truly are Fi's successor. Or progenitor, I guess. Oh my god, fine game, fine. I'll do this the fast way. Okay. Goodbye. Apparently the vendor's still there, which is funny, because what he sells is total trash. Don't do it, Loke. The Babylon 5 ruminations suck. I should get rid of those, too. How could you do this to me? You're Ganondorf's servant. Hear my name and tremble. I am Dirtbag, hero of the Gorons. What? Your name is also Lore? You must be the legendary Dodongo Buster and hero, Lore. My dad's Darunia. Do you remember him? Dad named me Lore after you because you're so brave. It's a cool name. I really like it. Lore, you're a hero to us Gorons. I'm so glad to meet you. Please give me your autograph. Sign it to my friend, Lore of the Gorons. Oh, I guess it's not a good time to ask you this. Please help everyone. My dad, Darunia, went to the fire temple. A dragon's inside. If we don't hurry up, even my dad will be eaten by the dragon. Uh-oh, we better calm him down. Tell me about the dragon. A long time ago, there was an evil dragon named Volvagia living in the mountain. That dragon was very scary. It ate Gorons. Using a huge hammer, the hero of the Gorons, boom! Kaboom! Destroyed it just like that. This is a myth from long ago, but it's true. That would make it not a myth. I know because my dad is a descendant of the hero. Maybe tell me about the Gorons. Everybody was taken to the fire temple. When my dad was out, Ganondorf's followers came and took them all away. All of them will be eaten by Volvagia. Dad said that Ganondorf has revived Volvagia. As a warning to those who might oppose him, Ganondorf's going to feed them all to Volvagia. Dad went to the fire temple all by himself to save everybody. Please help. I'll give you something that's extremely useful. And also kind of bugged. So here's the thing. Obviously it's heat resistant. That's cool. But it also reduces the damage you take from standing on fire, right? Wrong, because what it actually does is it reduces the damage you take by standing on any type of terrain that does damage. Of which there are several that have nothing to do with fire. I only found that out during speedrunning of this game. Oops, wrong thing. Plus, more importantly of all, it's the best look for Link. Come on. Come on, just tell me that doesn't look sharp. Yes, tradition. Must follow tradition. Oh, right, we don't have that yet. But there is no white Cycloud on this game. It is also the fastest. In Majora's, that's different. But in this game, our options are green, red, and blue, because, you know, theming. I don't know, I like red. I kind of waffle back and forth between red and blue, though. They're both cool. Why would it, Triaxia? I mean, blue's a pretty common color, too. I'm just saying. Don't fall prey to your own elitism. Resist the fashionista. Oh, yeah. The volcano's erupting now, by the way, so that's fun. Now what you're thinking. But it was always erupting. Yeah, but now it's erupting harder. I don't know. I don't get it either. No. Yeah, Giga. It's better. Yep, it's daytime. Can't you tell? So there's Goron. He's, aptly named. My brother opened a new store. However, I am better at making blades. Hylian carpenters praise me for my skills. I'm not lying. Okay, well. That broken knife is surely my work. I really want to repair it, but because of yesterday's eruption, my eyes are irritated. There are fine eye drops in Zora's domain. You'll find them if you go to see King Zora. Please go get the eye drops. You got a prescription. Go talk to King Zora. No problem. We could actually do that right now, but it would be, like, it would take longer than just doing it normally, so we're not going to. Still, it would be nice to have... You can get Goron Sword very, very, very early on, if you really want to. Pretty much the only thing you need for that is Epona. And that's kind of it. Everything else you can manage. It'll take a while, because you won't have shortcuts and items, but you can do it. I mean, yeah, I've prioritized it before, too, and trust me, having the Goron early is awesome. So now that we're flaming, we don't die in here. We still wobble a little bit, but no death. You can, Noctis. At some point, too. Well, that's useless. But just the hell of it. You use the text override glitch, but nobody wants to see me do that. I don't think I can make that. I'm actually not sure how to get down there from this side.
But oh, whatever. We got the claim check. That was the main thing I wanted to do. We've got the rupees right now. And where are we at? If we get 2 more Skulltulas... Where's some easy Skulltulas we're missing? Sure, Bionic Punk. Give me 1 second here. Today it will suck. Below 0. Yeah, I was just thinking, I don't think we got any of the ones in Hylia. Let's do this. That's a good question, Roxy. Why don't we ask Smash Brothers what they did with that? Do I think it's possible for the story of Dragon Age 4 to be good? Yes. Every Dragon Age game has had a net positive story score, regardless of all other features. So, yeah. I would bet with like a 90% certainty that the story score will be net positive. Almost guaranteed. So we're going to do things in kind of a weird order, but just bear with me here. That was interesting timing. I landed on the rolling rock, which is functionally a projectile, so it just hit me immediately. Nevertheless, to answer your question, Roxy, because I just sort of cheated out of that one. If I had to design a fighting game that included Link, I would probably base almost all of his moveset off of a combination of Ocarina and Twilight. Most of the core combat of these games is not just good, it's also iconic. And honestly, the idea of the Link who uses tons and tons of weapons is certainly appealing, but it's also the kind of thing a lot of different characters and a lot of different things use. So if we're assuming we're going to be working with other types of characters that we're introducing into this particular fighting game, I would want to reserve that slot for someone else, just in case I wanted to use it for someone else. See Furion from the Dissidia series for an example of that. Oh yeah, we can also do the frog thing, although I guess not at night. Maybe it is during... Hang on. Is that during a kid or not? I legitimately don't remember. Let's find out. Let's head over here. Right here. Ocarina. Sorry. Yeah, this is in the wild, wild west of early 3D for consoles. PC games had 3D for a while, although how good that was. Like, someone do me a favor, and I mean this sincerely. When did the first Alone in the Dark game come out? Because I don't remember off the top of my head. Really? Hmm. '92. Wow.
No, no, it's the chicken. I thought about doing the last time I was here, and I just haven't cared enough to bother. Actually dragging the chicken again. Yeah, then there was 3D games like Doom or Wolfenstein, which were definitely 3D. I forget when Wolfenstein 3D came out, but that's a pretty early one too. So, Zora's domain is completely frozen over. Little snow effects everywhere. No real Zora to speak of, and the king is frozen in this red ice. We're gonna put a couple of things here. Mweep. Thankfully, he's already mweeped out of the way, so we can just ignore him. Oh, yeah, well... I'm sorry, why would I place a warp here? Yeah, Jabu Jabu's dead, by the way. Although there's a glitch to enter Jabu Jabu as an adult, which is really easy to do. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it, but it's because his load screen is technically still here. Or his load screen, his load trigger is technically still here. Oh, if I screw up. Okay, I get you, Dream Whisperer. Sure, why not? I do like the faith in me there, Dream Whisperer. Okay, apparently I can't place it here. Damn it, Furore. That sounds like a quote from Warhammer 40k, I was told. I can't place it here either. Apparently, no, I am not placing it, Dream Whisperer. Placement denied. Jesus. So, fun fact, these spinning icicle things, these are a thing in real life. I forget what they're called, but it is a real-life phenomenon. Where ice will just sit there and spin thanks to a combination of factors. So, time for the best dungeon in the entire game. As usual, the music is extremely thematic. Thank you, Koji Kondo. Freezards. Oh yeah, if you damage them and then don't kill them, they slowly come back. Yeah, jokes aside, obviously this is not a good dungeon, but I love the music in here. So, this is our first introduction to the Silver Rupee puzzle. They use this a few times, and a lot in Master Quest. The Silver Rupee puzzle is exactly what it sounds like. You have to get all the rupees, they're placed throughout the area. Some of them are more dangerous than others. Some of them require trickery. Get all the things, open the door. Pretty basic concept. It's the item equivalent of the Red Room. Also, we're going to open a bottle here. Don't mind me. And quickly pull that in. That's the other side. Damn it, okay, whatever. I don't know if the Silver Rupees give you anything. We're, of course, maxed on money, and have been for a minute, because wallet mechanics are amazing.
Yeah, no, the Silver Stars thing in the later Marios came straight from this. Although they use it less there. Don't worry, we'll talk about the boss when we get to him. You know, that's an interesting idea, Bionic Punk. If we go with the... Ice Keys. The worst of all keys. If we go with the continued idea that rupees are concentrated magic and possibly part of the gratitude loop, it would make a lot of sense that these are depowered... yes, thank you. Depowered, rupees. Good reasons for the wallet limit. Oh, jeez. So, there's a lot of easy answers for, like, what's a good reason to have, you know, limited inventory size, or limited heals, or whatever. And most of those boil down to a specific genre of game, or type of game that's going for something specific, like, you know, like a survivalist kind of a game, for example. Or a crafting game. But being completely honest, I'm not sure if there's any good reason to have a limited wallet size, limited currency size, other than just coding. And coding, that's, I mean, we could have quad 9 rupees, right? That's more than we'll ever need. A couple of Zelda games have hinted that the rupees are magical, so we've kind of taken that idea and run with it, Bella, put simply. And you might think, oh god, you just lost 3 fairies. Remember, we can refill fairies easily. We have a teleport to a spot that's like 20 feet from a fairy fountain. So, fairies are officially an easily replenishable source right now. Yeah, I was about to say, it's right up there with putting weight on currency, which is just as frustrating. Whoops. Listen, these bottles are great. You don't even know. You know, Mr. Red, I bet you could do literally anything else with your time. Why do you... Let's talk this out. What's the issue? What weapon do you need and why? Silver rupees, by the way. Paladin sword for your set. So, farming transmog is cool and all. Are you at least watching something interesting and entertaining while you're doing that? Like, say, TNG. Just to use a random example there. Oh, really, Savicon? Well, I hope this is at least informative. No, I said interesting and entertaining, Mr. Red. Although you are right, I am not doing my job properly. I am so tired. I don't know what is wrong with me. I mean, I've been tired all week. And I did have that 3-day headache. Don't worry, it has actually finally gone away as of today. But, goddamn. Excuse my language, but... Whoa. I was actually debating cutting off a little early and just laying down for the lunch break. Yeah, I'm sure I'm fighting off something. Or I'm currently in the middle of sick from something. I'm not swollen, so that's good. It could also be the heat wave. We have definitely been having some of that going around here. I mean, that's a valid answer, Savicom. Ain't no judgment here.
Yeah, in 10 days, I'm going to be doing a lot more work than this, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of tragedy in this game. Oh, sorry, for those of you who haven't heard, in 10 days, we're pausing streaming for an undetermined period of time. And I have to say it that way because I'm really not sure how long everything's going to take. We might even go back to streaming before the actual move happens. But this is the get the house ready to be sold period of things. That means... So this is not the move. This is cleaning, emptying, finalizing, finishing. All the little details that need to be ready so that the realtor can show up, take the pictures, and list the house. That also means packing a lot of stuff and throwing away / giving away to Goodwill / selling a lot of stuff. So that's why I actually... this is my idea, I should mention. Because we've been kind of slow-moding it up until now, and I'm like, look, I'll go ahead and take time off from work. You take, have the brother-in-law, he takes the kids, and they go hang out at their grandparents for like a week. And Sis and I will just sit here and, we will push through it, right? It has to be done. It's a lot of work. We might as well just get it all done in one big go. And I just did that wrong. God dang it. And yeah, just to get it done, exactly. I want to be here, I think. Yeah, no. Is there enough space over here? There is, okay. I mean, I might stream while we're doing it, if we feel like being silly. I might play D&D while doing it. I've done that. You ever play D&D while cleaning? It's easier to do than you'd think, because it's D&D is a purely intellectual exercise, and cleaning is a purely mental one. Or, excuse me, purely physical one. So you keep yourself engaged while you're keeping yourself busy. How do I get the red rupees? My wallet is full, Czar. But the answer is you just get it under it, then you jump up and get them that way. Or you use the Song of Time, I think, is the other way you can do that. I say D&D, what I mean is P&P. So anyways, that was the Ice Cavern. Time for the boss! The most terrifying boss in the history of the entire... Okay, he's dead. I'm not actually joking. That is the boss of this mini-dungeon. That was actually more inoffensive than I thought, but I will ding it, I think, still. And you know why? Backtracking. This is a dungeon designed to force you to backtrack. It is. Because nothing really informs you that you're going to want multiple of those blue fires. They don't even tell you you need blue fires to leave. You might have picked up on that because you see the king, but you get the overall point, right? So it's really, really easy to get to certain points and either have to backtrack because you don't have enough bottles, or have to backtrack because you didn't get enough fire. Especially since there's so many optional things you can get with the fire. Extra rupees, extra vases, extra little heart spots, stuff like that. And that means, in every case, backtracking. So I think I am going to ding the dungeon once for that. Oh, that sucks. As death usually does suck. He's cold, too, apparently.
iron boots. We meet again. Dirtbag. You came here to meet the Zoras. You wasted your time. This is all there is. With one exception, the Zoras are now sealed under this thick ice sheet. I managed to rescue the Zora princess from under the ice, but she left to head to the water temple. Implying Sheik has been active while off camera, which is nice. This ice is created by an evil curse. The monster in the water temple is the source of the curse. Unless you shut off the source, the ice will never melt. If you have courage enough to confront the danger and save the Zoras, I will teach you the melody that leads to the temple. Time passes, people move. Like a river's flow, it never ends. A childish mind will turn to noble ambition. Young love becomes deep affection. Clear water's surface reflects growth. Now listen to the serenade of water to reflect upon yourself. Actually, no, Savacom. I'll have to reference things several times. Like, for some reason, I just cannot remember Epona's song. Dirtbag! I'll see you again. So, one of the biggest quality of life changes in this game, and this is not a joke, is changing the iron boots to being an item. Which sounds like such a minor change to anybody not familiar with the game. Please allow me to demonstrate what changing between the boots was like in the original. Okay, so you hit the gear screen. You actually hit L a couple of times in order to get to the gear screen. Then you switch the gear like this, and then you leave the gear screen. And then you jump into the thing, and then in midair, you switch back to this thing, and then you switch back out of here, and then you actually fall in. In this version, it's a button press. Like this. Which you can do on the fly. Yes, that's great. Which you can do on the fly. So you can actually float up and then sink down. And then float up and sink down. It's actually funny to me. I've used the term seconds and minutes for some time now to try and demonstrate this exact kind of concept. But what I find funny is everybody knows what seconds and minutes means if you've ever played Ocarina of Time on the N64. That is seconds and minutes. It's not actually that big of a delay. Not really, but you do it constantly. You are constantly swapping between the boots in the temple. It's the main mechanic. The main motif of the temple is controlling your height and the water's height. Hi, Dr. Winter. Exactly, Tully, is it? It's the Link's Awakening issue. Hang on, I gotta swap. Hang on, I gotta swap. Hang on, I gotta swap. It doesn't take long, but that's not really the problem. Imagine if it did take long, like, I don't know, random example. Let's say you're playing an emulated version of the N64. I know, you would never do that, but let's say you are. And let's say that you're playing one of the early N64 emulators, which has issues, because the N64 was a notoriously difficult console to get emulated. In fact, we still have some issues with it to this very day. So for those of you who don't remember, there was a very specific bug exclusive to the Ocarina of Time on the N64, where opening the menu took about 3 seconds every time you opened the menu. So just imagine. Hang on, I gotta switch the boots. Okay, switch the boots. Okay, switch off the boots. come back to life. Was it you who saved me? Don't be nervous. Looks like you had a hard time breathing underwater. As an expression of my gratitude, I grant you this tunic. And now we have all the armor in the game. And there's your blue, for those of you who prefer blue. It is also sharp. Oh man, purple would be awesome. This is eye drops. You might say we have them, you might say we don't. We do have the ingredients. Take the ingredients to the doctor at the lakeside laboratory. He can make the drops for you. But you need to deliver them fresh. Can you make it before they spoil? Yes, I can. I am a bad enough dude to save the president. So, you're going to hear a lot of hyahs here. Please forgive me, but we are in a hurry. Okay, so I just screwed up completely. Wow, that's like one of the worst screw-ups I could have done there. That's actually funny. Oh, and if you retain one of the blue flyers, you can open up the shop back there. But I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Oh yeah, we can't actually swim in the water anymore. We're too tall. Speaking of which, Navi has informed me that I'm no longer a child, so I must use manly types of movement. Which is, of course, the sidestep. Yeah, no, it's actually the side hop, but I like the side step better. Now, we could use Epona, but, you know, much faster. No, I'm joking, I'm joking. We're not going to do that. Epona! Where are you? Nothing's as fast as Epona in this game. It's like in Twilight Princess, there's like layers of speed. Proper dashing Wolf Link is pretty fast, but has absolutely nothing on Epona. You can just barrel roll through things. So even though it's only 3 minutes, this is actually relatively easy to do. This is not the hard one. Virtually everyone I knew as a kid could do this particular part of the quest. And then they would hand me the controller to do the next part. Oh, bull crap, you could make that... Oh, Jesus Christ, Epona. Epona can make that. I don't know what she's on about. Wait, she has to make that. Epona! We might actually fail the easy one, because Epona decided not to jump. There we go. Jesus, Epona. We might still fail this. So, Lake Hylia looks a little bit different right now. Yeah, no, the game heard me. I think we're gonna fail. Wow, we're gonna fail. One second. We had 1 second left on the timer. So this is the easy one. The next one is much harder. And that does not bode well. I would
seen an eyeball frog like this since Zora's domain froze over. These eyeballs are so delicious. Tonight I will cook fried eyeballs for the first time in a long time. Such great stuff. Please say thank you to King Zora. Dude, you are gross. He's for making Goron's eye drops. Oh, how disappointing. You should have said so in the first place. Here it is. It doesn't have any preservatives, so it won't last long. Why don't you put preservatives in it? Now the hard part. And really, this is the hard part. 4 minutes to get to the top of Death Mountain. There are multiple routes you can take here. There's only one I have memorized. And by have memorized, I mean I haven't done this in years, so I'm going to screw this up again. What do you want to bet? Sorry, I don't like to whip you that much, Epona, but I really needed you to make those jumps. I've already spent 30 seconds. Now, this is going to sound like a weird derailment, but trust me on this. Trust me. I guess we could do that. No, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Once again, I wish I could dismount quickly, but, you know, whatever. Because originally it was Spurs, Talia, and it was determined that that was too mean. But they didn't change the animation. But they did change the graphic. Yeah, anybody who's done this before, you probably know the route I'm about to do. Like I said, there's 3 routes that I know of off the top of my head. This is the one I usually do. It seems like it'd be slower, but it really isn't. Ah, shoot, I haven't actually done this yet. So, if almost every warp point you use in order to do this, cancels the timer. Like, it says, you're cheating, and the timer ends, right? There are a couple of timers that, or warps, excuse me, that don't actually screw up the timer. This is one of them. I'm also gonna have to do this. Yeah, just a moment. Oh, and if you use Nehru's whatever, I'm pretty sure that fails it too. But don't quote me on that. 2 minutes left. So we're halfway through our time. We're already on Death Mountain, so we're doing good. I swear Furor's Wind will cancel it, but don't quote me on this. Yeah, you'll notice how much time we have left at this point. If you've played this game, you'll know that usually at this point you've got like 30 seconds left. If you just go it straight. It is possible to make it straight. With no tricks and no chips and no anything. Just going from there to here. It is pretty tight timing. No, there's no way. Especially not with me being tired and losing like 2 hours of stream time to just exhaustion. Yeah, no, we've got gabrillions of time. Crushed it! Jesus, I was worried for nothing. We did the hard one easy. Hey, I got your eye drops. This is it. We've effectively got the Goron Sword at this point. Although, how many of you have ever gotten to this point and had like a second left, and you're desperately trying to get him the damn eye drops, and he's like, what? You can't use that here. I love that set. Like, there's no reason for it. It's just bloop, bloop. This is stimulating. It's working great. Yeah, he just injected drugs into his eyes. Our work is very consistent. I'll give you this so you won't forget. After a few days, please return. Just wait patiently. We got a claim check. I'm almost positive on the N64 version that I have been at this point and failed because I couldn't turn the damn thing into him and I had to start all over. By the way, you have to do the frog run if you fail at this run. So you have to do both timed runs in order to get this. Yeah, I've learned to actually lock on the guy and then use the item. That doesn't always work either. If you're paying attention, it almost didn't work with the frog drops. Or the frog part of the step. Because I was like, hey, and it's like, you can't use that here. And that's when I had 1 second left. Okay, time to advance. Thank God there's even a thing. Oh my God. I used to know exactly how many times you had to use the song to make this happen. I don't remember anymore. It's been a minute. We're just watching him work. You do not, Blue Fusion Bolt. The Goron Sword. Best weapon in the game. Which we are never going to not use until, like, there's two boss fights where we will not use the Goron Sword. Behold. It is a straight-up two-hander. Much bigger reach. More damage. It's a piercing attack. This thing right here will actually go through certain enemies' defenses. So if they have the shield up, sucks to be them. This is also extremely useful against a certain mini-boss in the next dungeon. Yeah, this thing's great. Oh, also, this attack is just a room sweeper now. Oh yeah, I can also block with it, too. Yeah, the Goron Sword is great. Like I said, there's a legitimate value in trying to get it early. If you wait a little bit longer, most of the steps of the trade game to get to this point all pretty naturally move alongside the main quest. We kind of skipped a little bit of it to get it, but yeah, this thing's awesome. This is pretty much the fairy sword from Majora's Mask, if you're familiar with that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take my own advice. I'm going to pause a little bit early. I'm going to clean up some documents. I'm going to set up some things. I'm going to lay down for a bit. When I come back, do the Fire Temple.